welcome to Friday Night Live. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And every Friday at 7:30, I like to come to you live, barring any kind of schedule conflicts. And generally, my little buddy Crash joins me as well. He loves this room because it's hot, but it must be really because he loves me and he loves stamping. So I think I'll stick with the latter two. And then the third one is just a bonus for him. And now it's currently high enough that the dog doesn't reach him. Anyway, so how is everybody's week? I've got a fun little project for you tonight that will help use up some scraps. And this is not my idea. I saw a post by Alisa Tilsner, who is from the South Pacific. I think she's from Australia. And she got it from Tina Zink, who is a U.S. demonstrator somewhere in the U.S. I'm not sure where. And I didn't actually watch Tina's video, but I loved Alisa's, and it was one I had to try. And I've actually tried it 2 more times. So after we get done creating the card tonight, I'm going to show you the 2 variations that I made. And I think you're going to love them as well. Now, don't forget, if you are tuning in, I would love to know where you are from. I am from Wells, Maine, and right now it is snowing quite heavily. It's beautiful out. The snow is, I think, for maybe the first time this year, a heavy snow. And we're supposed to get 4 to 6 inches, so that will be tough to shovel for those who have to shovel. I don't have to shovel, but my husband will take care of that. I have a clubhouse class tomorrow morning, and I'm hoping I can get out in time. I'm sure I can. I mean, I do know how to shovel, so even if he's not up, I can get out and get to my class. So Sheila is joining us, and I know it's snowing where she is as well, because she's just right up the road from me. And Anne is also up the road from me. She is a little bit further than Sheila, and she's got some snow. And then there's Ruth, who just chimed in that it's 80 plus till noon, and then back in the 20s. All right, well, that's quite a swing, that's for sure. All right, what do you say I turn me down and we'll get started on tonight's project? All right, oops, don't look at the mess. Don't look at the mess. It's significant. I have been working on projects, so I took Stampin' Up's Lovely Blossoms class that they just offered, and it was, I saw the projects ahead of time and I wasn't so thrilled with them, and now I'm rethinking it. I really liked it, and they gave lots of really fantastic tips. So tonight we are working with some Designer Series paper, and this happens to be the Painted Illusions paper. Now, if you are unfamiliar with that, let me get it out. This is the product of the month for February. And I think this is my favorite sheet, the blues and the greens, because I just love blues and greens. But then there's, and on the back of this one, there's like a mermaid scale kind of thing going on. And then there's some wavy patterns. That one's got a misty moonlight back to it. Another, this is a different wavy pattern. You can see this is more of a curve, and this is more of a wave. I don't know if there's a big difference in those 2 terms, but that's how I'm differentiating them. And then there's these that look like, I don't know. And then this pretty Lost Lagoon back. And I think that's about it, because I think you get, there are just 4 different sheets in here. So there's 2-sided, so there's 8 different patterns. You get 3 of each sheet. So a lot of times our DSP comes in a different configuration. Now I've gone ahead, and because Painted Illusions is my focus for next Tuesday's Tune In Tuesday, I had some scraps left over from my projects, And so I've just cut them into 1 inch squares. I figured you all knew how to cut into 1 inch squares, and so I didn't need to really show you that. And I've also taken the liberty of cutting 1 inch squares. Now you're going to need 12 for this project. I have more squares than I need, just cause. And you're going to need at least 12 of the Secret Sea. Now you can use black, you could use navy. I use Secret Sea because it's dark. Whatever color you use, you want to make sure it's a very dark tone, because these cardstock squares are going to represent shadows. All right, so I'm bringing in my adhesive of choice, and that is my green glue. I like it because it gives me some wiggle room here. And you know what? I think I'm going to bring in, yeah, I can bring this in. I'm bringing in a piece of white just because, no, I can't do it. I can't do it on real cardstock because I don't trust myself. I'm going to bring in just a piece of copy paper, just so that these are a little bit more noticeable. So what I have found when doing this is, rather than pick up and put down my glue bottle every single square, I'm going to do 3 squares at a time. And I'm putting them on the back piece, the shadow piece. You don't want to put it too close to the edges. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place one of the DSPs on it. And so it's just offset a little bit. So can you, let me see if I pick that up. Can you see that? It's maybe a 1/16 of an inch, maybe. And you can play with those dimensions. It doesn't have to be, it can be a little bit larger. In fact, one of my samples, I think, uses a larger one. But what you do want is you want them to be offset by about the same amount everywhere. Now, this designer series paper, for the most part, does not have an orientation that needs to be paid attention to. This one maybe, but not even really this one, because it could go either way. You'll see on some of my other ones that orientation does matter, because it's things that are growing, like flowers. All right. My glue is getting a little clogged at the tip, I think. I'm afraid to press too hard because I'll just get a icky piece that comes out. All right, so I want to play with a bunch of different colors. This is going to be a very bright and cheery kind of card, I think. This will be great for masculine or feminine. Now, you may notice like, oh, this was a little bit, the spacing isn't quite right. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It will be fine. I have found that it's easiest if you have at least 4 different patterns. Now, because these ones with the white curve going through it, because they're all sorts of different colors, those could be considered lots of different patterns themselves. The patterns aren't different, but because they look different because the color scheme is different. So that's helpful. Anybody got big plans for the weekend? I want to know. I think I'm going to go see a movie tomorrow. I can only imagine 2. It is, it's like a sequel to, well, obviously, to I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me, which is a Christian band. And I believe, just looking at a little bit of the clips, I believe it has to do with, I really should just do this first. It has to do with how they made their new song, Make It Well. but I know that in the clip that I've seen, the little trailer, they talk about the gentleman who wrote an old hymn called It Is Well. It Is Well With My Soul. For any of you that are familiar with it, that is my absolute favorite hymn. Favorite song to sing in church. It is my favorite. And if you haven't heard the story behind that, wow, you are missing out, because that is such an amazing story. I mean, the guy loses just about everything. Spoiler alert. Guy loses just about everything. And look up the story. You'll be amazed. Anyway, so that's what we're going to go see tomorrow. One of our friends who lives down the road decided to go see it tonight. And I'm going to ream him out because he's a single guy. And I brought it up in our small group the other night and asked if anybody wanted to go. And apparently I gave him an idea, but my thought was that we would go together. So I'm going to have to call him and ream him out for going without me, going without us. All right, I'm going to put this one on. Okay, so I think I've got enough. I've got 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh yeah, I've got exactly the right number. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put those other scraps aside so I don't mix them up. And I'm going to take these and move them out of the way. Now, because these are 1-inch squares, you really need a card size front. Now, you could put this just on a card itself, but I feel like this gives you a little bit of forgiveness in case your spacing isn't quite right. You can trim off a little bit on, one side or one end, and then mount it on a card base. So that's why I'm going to do this instead of just on a card. So what I'm going to do is just going to come in and I'm going to place my squares. And I'm not going to worry too much about the colors that are together right now. I need to find out if this is the right, if this is 4 inches. Oh yeah, I knew it wasn't 4 inches because it was way too much space. So I want something that's 4 by 5 1/4 to start. No, I don't. I want something that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So there's 4 1/4. Let's go 5 1/2. I want a card front size. There, that's the right size. Let's start back over here. So I'm going to space these, and I want to space them evenly. We're going to do a 3 by 4 grid. And the only thing I really need to pay attention to is I want to make sure that my shadows, these dark colors, are all in the same orientation. So bottom and right. And I probably don't want to put like 2 of these patterns together. So I'm not going to. I'm going to pay attention and just put some of the other ones. They can be kind of kitty corner, but I wouldn't put them adjacent to each other. You're just going to organize them any which way you want. What I usually do is I lay them all down and then I think, oh, I don't like that one there. And then I change them. Let's see. So, like, I might be thinking these two are pretty similar here. So maybe I do this. And I'm going to have a greeting that goes along here. So that's good. So now you see that this is about right. And that's about the spacing I want. It's pretty good. I've just done a couple of these already. So I'm kind of used to what the spacing is going to look like. And all right, I'm going to quit right now because I can't. They're not glued down, so don't pay too much attention to how crooked they are right now. I'm going to tell you how I have found it easiest to put these on here so that the spacing, you have the best shot of good spacing. Again, it's going to be okay if it's not perfect. people aren't really going to notice. I'm going to work my way in the upper left corner around the outside and then down the middle. And that just makes, that helps me figure out the spacing on the outside. So I really will just start by flipping these over. And I'm going to put some glue there. Now remember, the benefit of the glue is that you can move them pretty easily for a time being. Remember how you want the shadow. So I'm not pressing it down too much yet. And I am paying attention to, in this case, the DSP and making sure that it's roughly the same distance from the edge. Hate it when that happens. Now my hands are going to be sticky. Oh well. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there, I think. Everything is spaced pretty well. So I'm going to put that there. Now I'm going to work on these two. And this middle one may need changing. I want to make sure that this outside one keeps that same kind of spacing. So once I get that outside one done, then I work on this other one. And I just try to straighten them as best I can. You're going to feel like some of them are a little crooked, but honestly, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm working my way up this side. So do any of you have any scraps at home? Do you have a bunch of scraps of DSP? Or is it just me? I know the answer to that. I know, you guys. Well, you may not have scraps because you may be hoarding. That's the other issue that some people have with designer series paper. Hoarding. And you know what? There's no reason to hoard. You got to use it sometime. Otherwise, there's no sense of getting it. Make cards. If you run out, you can probably buy more. Unless, of course, you waited too long to use it and then it's no longer available. So see, there's another reason to use it in a timely fashion. Because if you love it, love it, love it, you can get more. So that's how I'm feeling right now about the lovely Blossoms Designer Series paper. That stuff is so beautiful. I'm on my second pack already. And we'll probably go to a third pack before too long. All right. So just go ahead and straighten as you have to. But doesn't the shadow effect look really, really cool here? When I saw this, I mean, it's very geometric too, and being a math person, that really struck me too. Hi, Anne. Where are you? Anne DeBay? Where are you from? I have not seen you. I think that's the one unavailable now till March. Yes, but good news, March is right around the corner. However, what's saddest of all is these gems right here. These are the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. These are, oh my goodness, probably one of the embellishments that is probably my most favorite. Oh, you're from Bangor. Oh, you're from Maine. Is it snowing where you are? I love these colors. They're just so calm, and like they're great for winter, but they're going to be great at other times too. And I love these, and these are not available till mid-April, which is so sad. Oh, I'm hoping it comes in early. All right, let me see what I have here. Let's get a card base going here. And I'm going to use thick basic white. Now you could use a color, it doesn't matter, because that front one it's the same size as the card base. Whoops, I just pulled something out and it was a weird size. This looks like it's already made into a card base. It is. All right, so this is just going to slip on there just like that. I mean, you really can't tell. If you wanted to cut a little bit off each of these sides, like 1/8 of an inch, then you'd have a panel. You know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I hope I don't ruin it. I'm going to cut off just 1/8 of an inch all the way around. There's 1/8. I'm committed now. Here's another 1/8. And here's another 1/8. The only thing that doing this will do is it'll point out definitely if you've got some, it'll be easier to pick out things that might be crooked. But again, it's going to be fine. So when I put this on now, it looks pretty classy because I've got an obvious layer on layer. It's not much, but you can, let me see. You just see the edge here. It just creates a more finished look, I think. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to put a sentiment on here, and I'm going to bring in Hello Friend, and this is from the Lovely Arrangements set, which is beautiful. That's part of the Lovely Blossoms suite. Just like those Moody palette glossy dots. And now I need to bring in a scrap of basic white. And I think I can get away with maybe a 5/8 inch piece here. Let's see. Whoops, that end's not cut, so I don't think I can get away with a 1/2 inch. It's a pretty tall sentiment. But we'll find out in just a second. Because my background was Secrecy, that's what I'm going to stamp in. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Not bad considering I'm well away. My head is not over the project, because if it had been, you wouldn't be able to see much of anything. And then we need to bring in a piece of Secret C, because we're going to treat this the way we treated our designer series paper. We're going to give the sentiment a border. So I guess what I need to do is trim down my sentiment so I know how long it is, because I'm going to cut my Secret C piece to the same amount. Well, let's make this 2.5. So it's 2.5 by 5/8. So we'll do 2.5 by 5/8. All right, there we go. And that's all we have to do for cutting. So for those of you that may not be familiar with Product of the Month, it is available while supplies last. Now the last 2 products of the month have not sold out yet, so they are still available too. And you can get it, you can unlock a product of the month. The only way to get it is to unlock it, and then you can add it to your cart for $5. And you unlock it with a single purchase of $75 or more. Now coincidentally, right now, there's free shipping on orders of $75 or more. And that ends tonight though. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, you'll want to do that. So here we have this. All right. And let's go ahead and bring in some baker's twine. And I think I'm going to use about 24 inches. I wish we sold white baker's twine by itself. I mean, I can use everything in the pack, and I did, and that's what allowed me to get a fresh pack. But I do find myself gravitating more towards white. So 2 12-inch pieces, and we're just going to tie that in a bow. One of those loopy bows, big loopy bows. You know, you don't even have to use a big loopy bow. You can just kind of loop in thirds. And then you kind of twist in the middle, and then it kind of looks like a bow. And you can change the ends so you can make the loops a little bit smaller. The only problem is then it doesn't really stay. You have to place it and hope it stays while you're you know, getting everything else set. But here's how you can do that. So if I have that kind of set like that, I can bring in a dimensional and pin that down there. So that's not really going to move. And I'm going to put this over, but I'll still need a dimensional out here on the edge. Well, actually, no, because this doesn't go all the way over. So that's gonna be just like that. So I'm gonna put one in the middle here and on the right-hand side. One of the sentiments I used for one of the other cards is longer, so it went over further. Let's put that up there. Put this down here. And again, not my design, not even Alisa's. I don't know, might not even be Tina's, but that's the one that, that's as far back as I've heard. So I'm going to give the kudos to Tina. And so there we have that. And I love white, lots of white. So there's lots of color here, but there's also lots of white. Clean, clean looking. And we didn't have to get out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which I usually do, but we didn't have to this time. Let's see if I can find my, let's see if I can find some rhinestones. There's so many colors on this. I probably don't want to add another color with any kind of dots or anything. So let me get my rhinestones unpacked from a class that I have for Monday. Those of you who know me are like, you're all ready for a class for Monday? Yes, shocking, isn't it? I'm ready for tomorrow and I'm ready for Monday. So we could put one here. And we can put one here. We can sprinkle them wherever we want to. All right. So we just have a little bit of extra bling. And there is our card. What do you think? You like it? I love the geometric nature of it. But let me show you some of the other ones that I did. So another paper that I've got some scraps of was this one. Now this paper has been around a long time. I'm surprised it's not on the last chance list yet. This is the Perennial Lavender. And let's see if I can bring out that card. Here's that one. So you can see my shadows are bigger here. I think I like the smaller ones better, but they both work. It is easier to keep the smaller ones a little bit more consistent in size than it is the larger ones. But this is not perfect, and yet I still really like it. And I did not use a black or a secrecy. I used Pretty Peacock because that was in these papers. Again, black would work great, but I thought, let's give Pretty Peacock a try. And then another pack of paper, oops, let me just move these out of the way. I think I put the paper away, is the Floral Charm. And this one, well, I originally made it to go this way, but then the sentiment was really long and took up the whole front, and I wanted to keep it off to the side. So I said, oh, let's turn it another way. And so now my shadows are this way, but it doesn't matter because they're all consistent. But then I used Blackberry Bliss here for the shadow there. So there are our 3 cards. Which one is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Or you can't choose. That's kind of that's an easy way out, but honestly, I like them differently for different reasons. I love the geometry of this. This is a color palette that I absolutely love, as is this one. You see on this one, we've got lots of things that are growing. So the only thing with this one is you really want to pay attention to how you are orienting. Although it doesn't really matter. This one I really had some places where I could see the orientation and wanted to be this way, but it still looks fine this way. Nobody notices. So anyway, so let's see. We've got a vote for the lavender. And we've got a vote for Floral Charm and another vote for lavender. So I would love it if you go ahead and do one of these and let me see what you use. Go look at your DSP stash. And of course, you can pull from different DSPs too, as long as they coordinate, right? So go ahead and see what you got. And I'd love to see what you come up with. But that's it. Don't forget, if you want to take advantage of free shipping and get product of the month, if you haven't already gotten it, the best time to do so is tonight because free shipping ends tonight. So let me just turn you back around here. Let's see which thing is going to rotate you. I think it's this one. Here I am. Oh, there's Crash. There's Crash. Crash, you gonna say hello? Oh, Crash, say hello. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, free shipping, and I think you can still sign up for my spring retreat signups. You save, I think, $20. I think it's $20, maybe $25. I can't remember. If you sign up by the end of this month. And we're going to have a great time at Village by the Sea in Wells. And I hope you can make it. We've already got, I think, 8 people pre-registered already. So the more the merrier. I've been starting to shop for goodies and so-called pillow gifts that aren't really pillow gifts because I don't leave them on your pillow. But just little fun things. So I know it's going to be a good time. I will have the directions and measurements. Not that it's hard, 1-inch squares. I'll have the directions for this project in my Monday email. So if you are not currently subscribed to receive my email, the link will be that in the description of this video shortly after this video ends. Have a great night, everybody. Those of you getting snow, stay safe, stay in, stay stamping. We will see you soon.